Hello. A pleasant day. I am Angelica P. Tabago, a freshman student from College of Education taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English. I am from BS Ed 1D1. Under the advisory of Mr. Christopher Ronque Podco. This documentary is a requirement in our major subject Mythology and Folklore. To start, I just would like to add some details about myself. I am an active member of Iglesia Ni Cristo. I am the only child in the family. My parents are Mr. Ricardo Tabago and Mrs. Evangeline Tabago. I live in Buenla, Tarlac. The topic that was assigned to is the creation of man by Prometheus. And to officially start, I will first introduce to you the author of this myth, Aeschylus. Who is Aeschylus? Aeschylus was the first of the three ancient Greek tragedians whose work has survived, the others being Sophocles and Euripides, and is often described as the father of tragedy. According to Aristotle, he expanded the number of characters in plays to allow for conflict amongst them. Previously, characters interacted only with the chorus. Only 7 of his estimated 70 to 90 plays have survived into modern times, and there is a long-standing debate about his authorship of one of these plays, Prometheus Bound. There are no reliable sources for the life of Aeschylus. He was said to have been born in c. 525 BC in Eleusis, a small town about 27 kilometers northwest of Athens, which is nestled in the fertile valleys of western Attica, though the date is most likely based on counting back 40 years from his first victory, in the Great Dionysia. His family was wealthy and well established. His father Euphorion was a member of the Eupatridi, the ancient nobility of Attica. As a youth he worked at a vineyard, until, according to the 2nd century hagiographer Pausanias, the god Dionysus visited him in his sleep, and commanded him to turn his attention to the nascent art of tragedy. As soon as he woke from the dream, the young Aeschylus began writing a tragedy, and his first performance took place in 499 BC, when he was only 26 years old. He would win his first victory at the city Dionysia in 484 BC. In 510 BC, Cleomenes I, Aeschylus was 15 at the time, expelled the sons of Pisistratus from Athens, and Cleisthenes came to power. His reforms included a system of registration that emphasized the importance of the deme over family tradition. In the last decade of the 6th century, Aeschylus and his family were living in the deme of Eleusina. The Persian Wars would play a large role in the playwright's life and career. In 490 BC, Aeschylus and his brother Cynaegirus fought to defend Athens against Darius I's invading Persian army at the Battle of Marathon. The Athenians emerged triumphant, a victory celebrated across the city-states of Greece. Cynaegirus, however, died in the battle, receiving a mortal wound while trying to prevent a Persian ship retreating from the shore, for which his countrymen extolled him as a hero. In 480, Aeschylus was called into military service again, this time against Xerxes I's invading forces at the Battle of Salamis, and perhaps, too, at the Battle of Plataea in 479. Ion of Chios was a witness for Aeschylus's war record and his contribution in Salamis. Salamis holds a prominent place in the Persians, his oldest surviving play, which was performed in 472 BC, and won first prize at the Dionysia. Aeschylus was one of many Greeks who had been initiated into the Eleusinian Mysteries, a cult to Demeter based in his hometown of Eleusis. As the name implies, members of the cult were supposed to have gained some secret knowledge. Firm details of specific rites are sparse, as members were sworn under the penalty of death not to reveal anything about the mysteries to non-initiates. Nevertheless, according to Aristotle, some thought that Aeschylus had revealed some of the cult's secrets on stage. Other sources claim that an angry mob tried to kill Aeschylus on the spot, but he fled the scene. Heracleides of Pontus asserts that the crowd watching the play tried to stone Aeschylus. He then took refuge at the altar in the orchestra of the theater of Dionysus. When he stood trial for his offense, he pleaded ignorance. He was acquitted, with the jury sympathetic to the wounds that Aeschylus and his brother Cynaegirus suffered at Marathon. According to the 2nd century AD author Aelian, Aeschylus's younger brother Amynius helped acquit his brother by showing the jury the stump of the hand that he lost at Salamis, where he was voted bravest warrior. The truth is that the award for bravery at Salamis went to Amynius of Pallene, not Aeschylus's brother. Aeschylus married and had 2 sons, Euphorion and Arion, both of whom became tragic poets. Euphorion won first prize in 431, in competition against both Sophocles and Euripides. His nephew, Philocles, his sister's son, was also a tragic poet, and won first prize in the competition against Sophocles' Oedipus Rex. A scholiast has noted that Philocles' Tereus was part of his band Onus tetralogue. Aeschylus had at least 2 brothers, Cynaegirus and Amynias. Let us now proceed to the myth. In Greek mythology, Prometheus is a titan, the son of Iapetus and Themis, and brother to Atlas, Epimetheus, and Menoetius. He was a champion of mankind, known for his wily intelligence, who stole fire from Zeus and gave it to mortals. Here is the whole story. When Zeus, the king of the Olympian gods, was young and trying to establish his rule, he was challenged by a group of ferocious titans who tried to keep him from gaining power. A long and terrible war ensued, with all the Olympian gods joined against the titans, who were led by Zeus' father Cronus and mighty Atlas. After 10 years of fighting, and with the help of the Cyclopes and the Hecaton Kers, the 100-handed Ons, Zeus and his fellow Olympians defeated the enemy. Only a few titans, particularly Prometheus and his brother Epimetheus, fought on the side of Zeus against their fellow titans. You see, Prometheus was very wise, wiser even than most of the gods, and foresaw the winner of the battle between the Olympians and the titans. He persuaded his impulsive brother Epimetheus to also fight on the side of Zeus against gigantic Atlas and his army. Once Zeus emerged victorious, he granted the brothers some just rewards. Zeus permitted Prometheus and Epimetheus to populate the earth with creatures and humans. Epimetheus, he wasn't too bright and his name means afterthought, foolishly gave all the good qualities to the creatures: strength and speed, the ability to fly, to stay warm in all conditions, to possess a keen sense of smell, superb cunning and instinct, to live underwater. Sadly, when it came time for man to be endowed with qualities, there were very few left. The scatterbrain Epimetheus had given away all the goods to the creatures so that there was no quality to make man a match for the beasts. Desperate and sorry, he begged his brother for help. Prometheus, he was wise and his name means forethought, took over the task of creation and considered ways to make humans superior. When the goddess of wisdom Athena was born out of the head of Zeus, Prometheus, or some say Hephaestus, assisted in the delivery. Wise Athena then taught Prometheus mathematics, navigation, astronomy, architecture, medicine, and many other arts. That's how Prometheus got to be so smart. Along with his ability to foresee the future, that made him a formidable titan. Prometheus had created humans in the likeness of gods, using the clay and water of Panopeus, and Athena had breathed a living soul into them. To compensate for the lack of great qualities, which had foolishly all been given to the creatures by Epimetheus, the wise titan made man stand upright like the gods, to be noble and conscious, and to hold his head high, looking up at the heavens. As yet there were no mortal women on the earth. That came later, as we will see. Prometheus passed on to man the useful arts taught him by Athena, and looked with joy upon his creation. He felt bad, however, because when man sacrificed to the gods, the best portions of the animal were offered to the Olympians, leaving little for the people. So Prometheus tricked Zeus into choosing one pile of offerings, cleverly disguised to look delicious, but instead hiding fat and bones. Zeus fell for the trick and impulsively chose the wrong pile, and from the non-humans got to keep the good and tasty parts of the animal offerings, giving to Zeus the useless portions. This made the king of the Olympians real mad, so he punished Prometheus, who was laughing at him. Zeus took fire away from man. "Let them eat their meat raw," he shouted. "Let's see how your men keep warm in the winter." Talk about a bad sport. Zeus knew that he would seem ungrateful if he directly hurt Prometheus, since the Titan had really helped him become king of Olympus, so he did the next best thing. Swearing revenge, he punished humans by taking away their fire. Well, that didn't sit well with Prometheus. Daily he looked down with sadness upon his creation, watching them shiver in the cold, and try to eat their food raw. Slowly they began to die, and Prometheus could no longer sit by idly. The story on how Prometheus brought back fire to man will be told on Ms. Armel and Martinez's documentary.